right, so chat, we're gonna actually, does he? Ah, okay, no. All right, perfect. Yeah. I was wondering if he was gonna do this, and he did. Rev just put out a video about the YouTube thing. Where Rev just put out the video, so we're gonna watch Rev's video on this. This I was hoping he would talk about this, and Rev, your delivery. So chat, next month. Yes, it's a YouTube thing. Chat, there are changes coming to YouTube next month. Those of you in chat who know, no spoilers. No spoilers. I want people to be surprised by this. Oh, this. Yes, Dar, you know you can't do that. All right. Yes, there are changes coming to YouTube next month. Not good changes either. There are changes coming that are not good next month. All right. Rev just put this out like a half hour ago. So we're definitely going to be checking this out. Basically, YouTube has decided to basically say, fuck the government, we're going to do it on our own. And this is not going to be beneficial for us. Okay? So, Rev just put this out. Let's take a look at it, but be ready to rage.
Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So today's topic is a good extension of what we discussed in yesterday's video. For a lot of you guys, especially if you live in certain parts of the world, things might be feeling extra dystopian lately. There's been a lot of changes with censorship and new bills being passed that require age verification and government IDs in order to access certain websites and services. And unfortunately, it looks like YouTube is trying to get ahead of this, and they have introduced their own AI-powered system that is going to determine in the United States whether or not you are an adult user or not, and whether...
Remember when I was talking earlier about how the US likes to make fun of Canada about this upcoming law? Yeah, YouTube's doing this to the US. This is only happening in the US. This is YouTube doing it to its US customer base. It will be using its crap AI. It's absolutely dog shit AI to determine if you are an adult. And I will let Rev get into a little bit more before I expound upon it. But this is fucked because particularly this is not the government doing it. This is a private company that's doing it. Just keep that in mind.
Or not you pass that, it'll determine if you have to give over your credit card or your government ID to access certain privileges on the website. This is a pretty concerning thing, and YouTube's been passing a lot of pretty radical policies recently, some good, some bad. In fact, yesterday they had a good one where they introduced a new change to a long-standing policy where they used to automatically demonetize you if you cursed in the first 7 seconds of a video. That's just the way it was. Automatic demonetization. They got rid of that. Now, for the YouTubers watching this, I want you to take a second and carefully read this section. This does not mean you can endlessly curse throughout the video. It just means you won't be automatically demonetized if you curse in the first 7 seconds. If you curse in the first 7...
Yes. And that was the whole thing for a while, that if you uttered this, that's why some of the videos we watched, you hear people go, okay, has it been 7 seconds or has it been 12 seconds? Good. Fuck! You know, that's why. It was this whole thing is if you swore within the first 7 seconds of a video, instant demonetization. You can still get demonetized if you swear too much in any of your videos, but if it happened within the first 7 seconds, no matter how much swearing occurred in the rest of the video, instant demonetization. What? How interesting that this is coming out either right before or right on the heels of YouTube now announcing, oh yeah, you can swear within the first 7 seconds of your video. By the way, our AI is also going to determine if you're an adult in the first place. and whether or not you can even watch any of these videos in the first place. So yeah, this is like, oh, we're gonna give you a little teaser to say, look, we're doing away with that rule you guys didn't like. Aren't we great? Oh, by the way, our crap AI is gonna try and determine if you're an adult. And if you're not, and if it says you're not, you need to pony up either your government ID or credit card in order to verify that you're an adult. Leo? I would think not, but who knows? I would think that if you have YouTube Premium, you're automatically like sort of grandfathered in, but who the fuck knows?
7 seconds or throughout the video, you still might get demonetized. So it's not like you have carte blanche to say whatever you want. But at least they got rid of the automatic demonetization. Now there's another change that's pretty radical in my eyes that I've talked about in previous videos. I'm going to talk about today. And I'm going to talk about in the future because it's pretty impactful. They have changed how views are counted on the system. So you have to be what's called an engaged viewer. Someone who likes, subscribes, or comments on a video. That's what makes you an engaged viewer, and it makes your view actually count. If you're someone who just watches even the entirety of the video without doing those things, your view might not count. And
yes, I fucking hate this. I fucking hate that YouTube has done this. Because it completely fucks my metrics for the videos that I put out on YouTube. It completely fucks the metrics, and I have no way to gauge if my videos are being watched and what size the audience really is. If someone just watches my video and then when the video is done, they click off of it, their view won't count. It only counts if they watch the video and either like, comment, or subscribe. That's the only way YouTube will count that as a view. Yeah, well, maybe, it's not, see, I don't, if they're already subbed to me, maybe, I don't know. It's like, that's, when I noticed, when I noticed my view counts were like abnormally low, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And then the story came out that they changed the way the metrics are done. And again, I fully believe that this is to cut this. My full understanding, or not my understanding, my opinion is YouTube did this to try and fuck content creators out of revenue. Because as I understood it, now I could be wrong because my YouTube channel is not monetized, so I do not know if this is correct or not. I am guessing. But I believe content creators on YouTube whose channels were monetized were paid by views. Depending on how many views you got would determine your cut of ad revenue. So my suspicion is that by YouTube changing the metrics in terms of how they register quote-unquote views, is they can pay the content creators less, but they can still rake in the ad revenue. Because even if that viewer doesn't comment, subscribe, or like the video, and they still watch it, they're still getting the ads. Even if they don't like, comment, or subscribe. They're still getting the ads. YouTube is still getting the revenue from having those ads on the video. But the content creator, if they're not registered as, if that is not registered as a view by liking, commenting, or subscribing, then I suspect that YouTube is going to be able to pay that content creator less because their views are going to be less than the reality. And so thus they will have to pony out less money. That's my suspicion. Again, let me clarify. It is a suspicion. I don't know if this is actually happening or not because I do not monetize the channel and thus I do not have metrics to back this up. But that's the feeling I get. That's the only reason I can guess why YouTube would do this. There's no reason for YouTube to skew the views like this so they are less than they actually are if it was not to fuck the content creators out of money and gain them more money for the ad revenue. So, based on simple logic, that's why I suspect YouTube has done this. And it's shit, because from someone who's not even monetized, it doesn't allow me to get a good feeling of, okay, are people enjoying my videos? I can't tell if my videos are popular or not because the only ones that I can tell that have watched it are the ones that have interacted with the video in some way. People that might have just casually clicked through and enjoyed the video and didn't want to click the like button, didn't want to make a comment, didn't want to subscribe to the channel, all of which is just fine. I have no objections to anybody doing that. But because YouTube has changed it, I don't know if that person has watched the video, or the multiples of that person have watched the video. So it basically fucks me over as a content creator because I don't know if people are liking what I'm doing or not. And that's a problem for me.
Becoming an engaged viewer helps increase how this video in particular is treated in the algorithm. And I recommend you doing this for my videos and also all the other content creators you enjoy, because I can speak from my own experience. This sort of thing does help the video in the algorithm. It does make a difference. And that's just the reality of the system we are in.
Yeah. And that's another factor I forgot to mention, is that the number of views a video has helps it in pushing it in the algorithm and pushing it to people's front page. So if you're not engaging with the video, the view count stays low, and thus it won't be pushed higher to the algorithm, so more people will be aware of it and can watch it.
Right now. But here is the major change we're talking about in today's video. So as you can see, YouTube is rolling out AI in the United States to detect if users are actually under 18. It ignores the stated age and applies restrictions to users they suspect are not 18. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Which means that if someone is flagged as being under 18, they won't, from a personal standpoint, they won't be able to watch my videos. Because I guarantee you my videos would not be pushed by YouTube to anyone under the age 18, because I swear a lot, because of the nature of my content, which means I could potentially lose a fuck ton of people based on this AI. And it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. Just wait.
AI-powered system that's going to determine whether or not you're going to be punished on this platform, even as a casual viewer. That is going to be a gigantic mess. And I think it's very clear this is trying to get ahead of what's going on in the world, especially in the United Kingdom, given their online safety bill that is now in effect. This is essentially an age verification system that is causing a lot of issues because the scope of what it was introduced as has gone way beyond what was initially presented, and it's starting to affect pretty much every platform and service out there. But we'll talk about this in depth a little more in just a second. But this is the sort of rundown of how this new system on YouTube is going to work. They're saying we will use AI to interpret a variety of signals that help us determine whether a user is over or under 18. These signals include the types of videos a user is searching for, the categories of videos that they have watched, or the longevity of the account.
Translation: new users to YouTube can get incorrectly flagged as being under 18. Users that like to watch more, users that like to watch fucking old 80s cartoons clips on YouTube could get flagged as being under 18. Because they're going to use their AI, which fucking blows. YouTube's AI is absolute dog shit. YouTube's AI has routinely nuked entire YouTube channels by mistake because of its AI algorithm. The AI mistakenly detected something and has nuked nuked entire channels because the AI made a mistake. And some of these people have no recourse to get their channel back. It's fucking gone. They're done on YouTube. They can't even create another account because if they do, YouTube will flag it as being ban evasion. So we have had entire YouTube channels that have been nuked off the fucking platform. There is no one that they can contact to say, hey, you made a mistake, and get their account reinstated, because that's all facilitated by AI as well. you cannot actually contact someone at YouTube. You're contacting an AI. And the default on the AIs say, yeah, we reviewed this and we said, fuck you. Your account's done. Go kick rocks. That's now going to happen to the average viewer, where the same AI is going to be responsible for determining if you are over 18. The same AI that routinely gets shit wrong all the time, hundreds of thousands of times per day, is going to be responsible for determining if you as a user are 18. But wait, there is a way to overcome this. Just wait.
Notice there's an or. So it could be any of those three things that could be used by the AI to determine whether or not you're an adult user or not. And as you can see, if you are determined as someone who's underage, not 18, they will disable certain things on your account, including disabling personalized advertising, turning off digital well-being tools, or turning on digital well-being tools, adding safeguards for recommendations, including limiting repetitive views of some kinds of content.
One thing I will point out, this is not all of the stuff that categorizing you as being under 18 does. This is including these. We don't have a full comprehensive list of what being categorized as under 18 does. This is 3 out of God knows how many. Okay, there's a lot more that can happen to your account if you are classified as being under 18, if you are classified as a minor. This is just 3 of them.
If the system incorrectly estimates a user to be under 18, they will have the option to verify that they are over 18 with a credit card or a government ID.
There it is. If the AI fucks up, okay, this is Google saying, if our AI fucks up, oh well, give us your credit card info or your personal or your governmental ID information. If our AI screws up, it's your fault, and you need to give us your credit card info or your state ID or your government ID information. Yeah. YouTube basically just said, YouTube basically just looked at the UK laws and said, you know what, we could do this even worse. We're going to do this by using AI to identify you in the first place. It's like, and this is a private company. Again, this is not the government doing it. This is a private company doing it. So it's not like you can contact your senators or your representatives about this because you're disagreeing with governmental decision. This is a private company who can do whatever the fuck they want when it comes to this. So you don't have a whole lot of recourse in terms of protesting against this. If you don't like it, Google will say, fine, don't use our platform. It's not like you have a governmental methodology to protest against this. And it's not like the Carter Post is like, well, we're going to stop using YouTube, because particularly content creators, like, this is how a lot of content creators make their fucking income. Now, here's the really fucking scary thing. What happens when the when the YouTube's AI starts identifying content creators who are monetized and claiming they're under 18? Now, theoretically speaking, that shouldn't be possible, because if you're a content creator on YouTube, you should already have a credit card or a bank account on file so you can receive payment as a monetized user. So theoretically, that should not happen, but it's Google's AI that is responsible for doing this. And we all know how much Google's AI fucking sucks. So how long do you think it's going to be once this goes live next month? Because this is popping August 18th. That's when this starts. August 18th. Yeah, it shouldn't happen. But given the fact that they have the AI doing it, and the AI makes mistakes hundreds of thousands of times per day on YouTube, how long do you think it's going to be before a content creator mistakenly gets brought down to under 18 by the Google AI, which will disable the monetization on their channel. How long do you think it's going to take? So this is just all sorts of fucked up, and I guarantee you, it's going to be fucking stuff up. You're going to see day one when this goes live, you are going to be seeing so many fucking posts on Twitter saying Google just mistakenly ID'd me as being under 18. Now I have to give up my credit card or government ID to them. You are going to be seeing thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people on Twitter that are going to be saying Google fucked up and mistakenly said I'm under 18.
This is
Google's AI sucks, but it doesn't swallow.
Yeah. Bastards.
exactly what's going on in the UK. If this AI determines through these 3 very vague requirements that you are not an 18 plus user, you're going to have to hand over your credit card or government ID. Doesn't that feel a bit invasive? This is very open-ended, and again, it's powered by AI. I don't trust this whatsoever. I don't think anyone trusts this whatsoever.
No, and again, there's nothing in here that says once you have been identified, your personal information that we just got is immediately destroyed. Once you give up your credit card and government ID, you don't think Google's going to hold on to that and use that to sell it to advertisers for targeted advertising? They're going to use this when their AI fucks up. They're going to use this as an excuse to basically get your information and sell it to advertisers even more than they are already doing. Make no mistake, they are already selling information. They're just going to have even more. This is just a way for them to do it even more, even further.
This could so easily be abused to require people to send over their credit card or government ID. And I'm not even getting into like content creators and how if you're a content creator and somehow your account gets flagged, what does that mean for you? Like, are you able to collect revenue? How is that going to work?
Bingo!
It's a giant mess waiting to happen, but they are gung-ho on this. And of course, like I said earlier, this is clearly trying to get ahead of a global trend right now. The UK is kind of the epicenter of all this with their new online safety bill and the age verification process. This is a disaster. Again, another example of a Trojan horse, where you have bills like this that present themselves as an attempt to protect children. But in practice and throughout the bill, it goes way beyond that scope.
And we saw yesterday the interview with that parliamentarian in the UK. He admitted on air that it's to monitor adults. He flat out admitted it. This has never been about the children. With all of these new ID laws coming into play, anyone that thinks that this is actually about protecting kids is a fucking moron. I'm sorry. If you think that any of these bills are actually about protecting children, you're an idiot. And thus you are the perfect target demographic for these governments that are instituting this. This has never been about children. The protecting the children thing has been nothing but an excuse to institute draconian laws designed to keep its populace down. That is the purpose of these laws. To basically put the populace under the government's boot. It's a means for the party to seize control and to unleash the fingermen, which the UK is already doing.
It starts surveilling adults. It starts censoring what adults can view and say on the internet. And as we'll see, this has already trickled down in just a few days to services like Spotify. Spotify now will require you potentially as a UK user to give over your government ID. That's how.
Yes. I saw this too. It's not, again, anybody who thought that this would be limited to porn was a fucking moron. Because I was saying this weeks ago when this first started coming up. This is not going to be limited to porn. It's not. It's limited to literally anything the government wants to control information on. And now they're doing it to Spotify in the UK. You can't even to listen to music without proving you're an adult. Not even music. We're now going into a terrifying parody of Footloose, where the government doesn't want you to listen to that rock and roll because it could make you violent, and it's got bad words in it. So now the UK government is going to try and control what music you can listen to, because it's only IDs now. It's only IDs now to say, yes, I'm an adult. How long do you think it's going to be before they start using this to actively start censoring, saying, you cannot watch these kind of videos? No one can. You cannot watch these, listen to this type of music. No one can. Because we, the government, believe it is in the best interest of the people. The party believes this is for the betterment of the people, that you don't get this information, that you be denied this information or this entertainment. The party believes is for the best of you. I mean, Steve, who says that might not come next? This is the route things are going. Right now, the extreme use of this is happening in the UK and it's happening in Australia. You don't think it's going to spread? You really don't think it's going to start spreading to other Western countries? Because it is. I will guarantee you it is. Because once other country governments see that the UK was able to get away with it, they're going to go, well, the UK got away with it. Let's give it a try ourselves. We're going to start instituting ID requirements. We're going to start instituting limitations on information.
I can hear the government stooge saying, where are your papers?
JRC, I was thinking the exact same thing today. How long before you start hearing papers, please? How long before you start hearing it? Which, it's so fucking ironic. The UK was a victim of the Nazi regime. They were the victim of the Nazi regime. They were one of the countries that could see firsthand what the Nazis were doing. And now they're turning into exactly like that. The UK is literally taking on the mantle of their oppressors. Think about that. We are living in a time where the victims of the Nazi Party is becoming the Nazi Party themselves. They have lived long enough to become the villain. And yeah, Vespasian, I said the same. I don't know if you said the other part. No, Draco said it. Draco said it. Yeah, Draco, I said it as well. November 5th, I suspect, is going to get rather spicy this year in the UK.
How ridiculous this is already getting. Now, like I said, this is a Trojan horse that says this is all about protecting kids. And every single person, every sane human being out there agrees that children should not have access to 18+ adult websites, obviously. But a lot of people believe this is more of a parenting issue. They should use parental controls and monitor what their kids are doing online, and that...
Yes, and the argument of, well, kids can just bypass the parental controls. Cool. How about the people responsible for making the parental controls in the first place kind of take the same gusto that companies like YouTube has had when it comes to disabling ad blockers? So if parental controls are getting easier to bypass, how about the people that created these parental controls actually take steps to improve these parental controls? Instead of just basically going, well, fuck it. They got past it. Nothing we can do. Because that's what they done. The kids have figured out how to bypass parental controls, and the people responsible for making robust parental controls basically just wiped their hands and said, fuck it, we did what we could. Nothing we can do now. Why don't they take the same tactic YouTube has been taking, where it's constantly fighting against ad blocker to try and override ad blocker to make sure ads can be seen on their website? Why aren't we saying that same level of gusto when it comes to the people that facilitate parental controls? I said this before. Why don't the major OSs like Windows or Mac facilitate something so when you purchase a new computer, the parents facilitate setting up the computer, they put in the parental controls that will lock out the child, and so that if a child tries to do something, it can't do it. They facilitate means that they can't be bypassed, and they even facilitate means where I was thinking about this yesterday. One of the arguments is if a parent sets up a computer and sets up parental controls, well, the underage kid could simply just do a complete system wipe and go back to factory settings and reset it back up again. Cool. Why not institute something where when you have parental controls engaged, you have to do something, either input a code or use two-factor authentication when you facilitate a full system factory reset in order to be able to do so. That way the kids can't factory reset the computer and bypass parental controls that way. Is it going to be 100% effective? No. None of it's 100% effective. You will never have a 100% effective methodology here of protecting kids. That is facts. No method will ever be 100%. But what I was just describing with the OSs is at least a fairly robust way for parents to either monitor or protect their kids in their computer usage, and you're not infringing upon people's privacy and demanding their ID for everything. It is a much less invasive means of facilitating protecting children that these governments and these companies are claiming to be so fucking obsessed with. It's at least a means of doing so where it's not requiring someone's ID to do something. But, as we all know, protecting of the children was a smokescreen to begin with. They don't give a fuck about the children. These governments, these companies do not give a flying fuck about the children. They do not care. It is all about controlling the populace. It's all about the party facilitating dominance over the people.
That should be the main focus. It shouldn't require all these extra steps that extends the scope of bills like this to the point where now adults are being required to send in their government IDs to pretty much every website and service they visit. That goes way beyond adult websites.
And again, if you don't think that information isn't going to be used against you in the near future, I'm sorry, you're a fucking idiot. If you don't think that giving up your ID to go on numerous websites, not just porn, but numerous websites and apps like Discord, like Spotify, and etc., which is not strictly NSFW, but is just like quote-unquote adult content that we need to protect the children from, if you don't think that's going to be used against you by the fingermen, you're a fucking idiot. This is all going to be compiled so that the fingermen can target people that are engaging in wrong thing. And they're going to come after that. And they're going to use this ID system to come after the citizenry and put them in prison.
To just mundane, everyday services, as we will see. And unfortunately, there's also a big security risk. Imagine having to send over your government ID or your biometrics to pretty much every website you're going to. Look at some of the recent data breaches, like with the T app.
Okay. The T app, from what I've been hearing, the T app is not a good example, because from what I heard, the T app, all of the identifications, which so many women actually submitted their driver's licenses when they didn't have to. You have ads. Okay, David, I will yap until the ads are done. This T app is a bad comparison because, number one, women were submitting their identifications when they did not need to. That's number one. Number two, all of the user data was kept on like a publicly accessible website, from what I've heard. It's not like hackers did this big breach. And thank you, nickname. They like the information from the T website was disgustingly easy to get a hold of. Now the 4chan one, that was a hack. The 4chan data breach, that absolutely was a legit hack. It absolutely was. But yeah, you don't think that hackers are already banging away at the protections of all of these companies that are now procuring thousands upon thousands of people's IDs since this came online? You know, it is literally only a matter of time before every single one of these ID companies that the government is using to facilitate this facilitate ID recognition, it's only a matter of time before they get hacked. It is only a matter of time. And my guess is it's going to happen soon because they became target number fucking one for hackers all over the world. And they will get it. You are not going to stop them. So I'm waiting to hear in the near future about the data breach of these companies that are responsible for recording and maintaining the IDs for the UK ID registration law. It's going to happen, and it's going to happen soon, because I guarantee they're already working on it.
This was an app that was a women-only app where basically it was very mean-spirited, right? They would have to give their government ID to prove they're a woman, and the main focus of the site was to show dating profiles of men and basically determine, like, is this person a red flag or not? Are they a good choice? Obviously really mean-spirited and invasive as well.
Yes, David, that is it.
And because the website did not have proper security, it was hacked by 4chan and millions of IDs.
Well, Cody, to your point, and someone else also said it. Neckiness, he said it too. The UK won't admit it, but the moment the hackers break through and start scraping all of the data, they will broadcast it. Once the system gets hacked, the UK won't admit it. The hackers are going to be the ones to go, yeah, we breached the UK's ID registration. Here's a sample size of what we got. Their security is garbage and it can be hacked easily. So the hackers will be the ones boasting about it when it happens, not the UK. Leo, Anonymous is not what it used to be. Anonymous is not this mysterious collective of super hackers that can get into anything. It's not that anymore. It isn't. The Anonymous of old is gone. It's not around anymore.
It was hacked by 4chan, and millions of IDs and personal information of users were leaked to the public. It is an absolute mess. And there are many websites and apps that function just like this, and it'll be just that easy to take people's information and make it available on the internet. And also there's going to be a lot of malicious users setting up fake websites or dupes of popular websites and services to try to get people's information. This is going to be something that's going to skyrocket in the UK.
You know what? That's actually something I didn't even consider till Rev just mentioned it. I did not even consider it. How many of those fake websites are going to start popping? There are probably going to be hundreds, if not thousands, of fake websites specifically designed so you have to do the ID check so they can get your data, so they can get your personal information. That's fucking scary for the people in the UK. That if you're going onto a website, you don't know if it's real or if it's fake, and if they're stealing your data by using the forcibly required ID verification, because the website is classified as being adult, or it's just classified as the UK has decided you have to use your ID to access this website for reasons. Yeah, that's an even scarier thought.
Now, of course, people are aware of this, and they signed a petition. This is available through the UK government.
Yeah, we know about this.
It's not like this is a change.org petition. You can see over 400,000 signatures in only a few days. And they say, well, Parliament considers all petitions that get more than 100,000 signatures
and
for
here
a debate.
Comes the
but here was the response once it got over 100,000.
We don't care.
The government has no plans to repeal the Online Safety Act.
Yeah. We heard your objections and we decided we don't give a fuck. Go fuck yourselves, plebs. Go fuck yourselves, poors. The party knows better than you. Your opinions mean nothing. That is what the party said. And yes, I'm continuing to refer to the UK Parliament as the party, i.e. the totalitarian government from Vendetta, because that is what they've become. The UK government has become the party, and I will continue to address them as such, that the UK government is the party. And their police agencies as the fingermen, because that's where they've gone. And yeah, so the party has said, okay, did you get that out of your system? Because we don't fucking care what you have to say. Regardless of the fact that you elected us and that we are supposed to work for you, the party does not care what you, the poors, think.
What's the point? Literally, what's the point? And of course, a lot of people are not happy about this entire system in the UK, so they're using VPNs because, well, you're not going to enforce this stuff on me if my VPN says I actually live in the United States, for example.
There's more.
Well, they're cracking down on VPNs already, just in a few days. The amount of people using VPNs skyrocketed in the UK, and now they're already trying to ban VPNs in the UK. This is
And considering the party has already instituted this ID check, they will succeed in banning VPNs. Because the party is now going to say that VPNs are being used to circumvent the ID requirement, which is a danger to the children. Again, using the bullshit message of we give a flying fuck about children. And they're going to push through a bill to ban VPNs. It's going to happen. Well, Leo, what they're gonna end up doing is they're gonna end up IP blocking users from accessing the VPN websites in the first place. Now, which granted, I could easily foresee dead drops happening with like thumb drives that have the VPN installation software taking place throughout the UK. I could see people from outside of the UK bailing in thumb drives with the install exe file on them. I could see that happening. But they are going to IP block people in the UK from even accessing the VPN websites in the first place. Or, Rhyme, yes, they'll go to the ISPs and get them to monitor it. I could see that happening too. Because the ISPs are already down for fucking people up and blocking people from stuff that they deem inappropriate already. It'll take no effort at all to get the ISPs to go in on this and have the ISPs monitor you. And if you are running a VPN on your computer, they'll report you to the Singerman, and the Singerman will be knocking down your door and hauling you to prison for violating the law. That is the route that this is going in the UK. That's the route it's going. The UK is speedrunning totalitarianism. And someone tried to correct me and saying it's not totalitarianism. Go fuck yourselves. Open a goddamn dictionary. Yes, this is fucking totalitarianism. It is the clear fucking definition of it. Right fucking here.
I'm going to start calling the UK Western North Korea.
You know what? I wonder if HLC's going to start doing that too. It's getting either that or West China. One or both.
A gigantic mess right now. And you can see some of the people of Parliament, like Peter Kyle here, trying to do a very desperate and shameless appeal to emotion. Where they're still trying to say that if you...
Okay. Hold the fuck up. Hold the fuck up. Peter Kyle, go fuck yourself. You've earned this. Go fuck yourself with a bad dragon wrapped in concertina wire, soaked in ghost pepper hot sauce, with a fucking stick of TNT shoved up the middle of it, and I'm gonna debate lighting the fuse, because you can go fuck yourself with that glorious conglomeration of pain if you're gonna try and say that you are on the side of the predators because people want to overturn the Online Safety Act that is violating people's privacy. You, sir, are a Nazi. I can finally fucking say that and not be hyperbolic. This is Nazi fucking thinking right here. Papers, please, and if you don't like it, are you on the side of the predators? That's literally what he's saying. If you have an objection to papers, please, you're a predator. Because on the side of the predators is the same fucking thing as saying you're a predator. Yeah, fascist, maybe more fascist than Nazi, what the fuck ever. Oh, Alistair, don't even get me started on the whole Sydney Sweeney thing. That's just a bunch of fucking Karens that are butthurt and jealous because Sydney Sweeney is a fuck ton hotter than her, so of course they have to call it Nazi propaganda. That's just a bunch of dumb fucking Karens that need to, go finger themselves into oblivion or something because they're jealous they're not as hot as her. That's all that is. It's fuck you, Peter Cut. Okay? Absolutely fuck you. You're a piece of shit. Yeah. I don't know if Peter Kyle is a member of the parliamentarian. His people should demand his resignation instantaneously. This statement alone right here, he should fucking resign. He should be out. Fucking out. People of Britain should immediately demand he's out.
Want to overturn this act, you're on the side of predators because they want to frame this as just protecting kids from viewing content they should not be seeing. Well, that's not.
Which again is a fucking lie. Your own parliamentarian went on the news and said it was a lie. Your own parliamentarian went on the news and admitted this is to also monitor adults, so go fuck yourself with that bullshit.
How it is actually playing out. It goes way beyond that. There is censorship of adults, censorship of dissent, censorship of different opinions, and they're calling this a danger to democracy. Many people do believe this is trying to crack down on how people think and how they live very basic lives on the internet. It goes way beyond the initial scope of what this bill was presented as.
He's an MP?
And
okay.
Of course,
here we go.
Here we go. Has been going around.
We know about this. We saw
this. Basically admitting this isn't just about protecting kids. This is about stopping adults' free speech, and that elite squads will be responsible for monitoring and punishing free speech.
Is it the fingermen? They are literally the fingermen. Don't call them anything else. You call the UK government the party. You call these police the fingermen, because that's what they are. They are the fingermen whose sole purpose is to stomp out free speech, and anyone who commits the grievous crime of wrongthink is put in prison.
Just about children, or does it focus
do you think
on adults?
that should be an elite squad?
Barry, does it just focus
to protect 13-year-old
I'm sorry,
girls?
the elite squad is not about children, actually. Shall I read you the
Yeah, we
thing?
fucking go. Yeah, and you heard me said, should it not be an elite squad to protect 13-year-old girls? Fuck you, you cock gobbler. Go fuck yourself with your bullshit.
Elite squad of police officers is to monitor social media for anti-migrant sentiment. I don't think 13-year-olds are engaging that. So is it also to monitor adults? Simple question, yes or no?
Yes, of course it will.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, it seems so obvious at this point. They were saying this is all about just banning adult websites or keeping kids from accessing
look
them
at that.
and all that stuff. But now you're seeing it goes way beyond that. It's something that is attacking many platforms nobody expected. You can see Chibi Reviews talking here about Wikipedia being restricted, YouTube being restricted, Spotify being restricted, police monitoring task forces being created. These are not exaggerations, right?
Again, I'm going to point out, I was calling this shit out weeks ago. I think this was even before the UK bill came into play. This is back when we were still hearing about collective shot in the payment processors. I was calling this out and saying, you think it's only going to stop at NSFW? You really think that they give a shit about the children? No, I was calling this out fucking weeks ago. And yes, Gray Matter, I know. fuck the rape gangs and the grooming gangs that are rampaging through the fucking UK. Forget about them. They're fine because they're immigrants and we don't, and they're not white. So they're just fine. But white people, no, you need to shut the fuck up. And if you don't, we're going to throw you in prison because you're committing wrong thing. But if you're an immigrant that likes to abuse children, that likes to sexually assault children, you're fine. Go right ahead. We want to turn into an Islamic state. That's what the UK's thinking right now. And thank you, Cortanis.
Now, if you're a UK user, this is what your media tabs might look like on Twitter. Everything is being censored. Even things posted by users who are not in the UK are being hit with these restrictions. In yesterday's video, we talked about...
And that's what I was talking about, what he just said there. Users that are not in the UK are being hit by these restrictions. That's what I was referring to, is that this is reaching beyond the UK. I'm going to play this again, but this law in the UK is spreading like a fucking cancer beyond the UK's borders.
Everything is being censored. Even things posted by users who are not in the UK are being hit with these restrictions. In yesterday's video, we talked about collective shout. And some people...
Test kick clips. This is my standard hair. I used a pixie cut yesterday just as a little treat. This is my normal hair. My beautiful long red hair.
It was a bit of a confusing situation with mouthwashing. It was claimed it was banned by itch.io. Turns out it wasn't, but long story short, people talking about that and relating it to various censorship issues were getting these restrictions.
Well, Caucasian? They want to. The chief constable of the UK already wants to go to other countries and arrest citizens of foreign lands and bring them back to the UK and charge them with wrongthing. He has already said he wants to do that. So, yes, they absolutely want to try and go to other countries to arrest people for talking badly about the UK. Now, I would love to see them try. I would, Mechanist, I would love to see them try. I would love to see what happens when a UK constable goes to a foreign nation, approaches someone and says, I'm arresting you and taking you back to the UK because you said something bad about the UK. How long do you think that constable is going to remain conscious when that happens? Now, I am not advocating for violence against anyone, but I am very cognizant of pattern recognition. And pattern recognition says to me that if a constable from the UK goes to a foreign country, say the United States, for example, approaches someone in the United States and says, I'm arresting you and taking you back to the UK because you said something mean about the UK, how long do you expect that constable to remain conscious? And I'm being kind in my descriptors here. Yeah, not long. But that's what they want to try to do. That's what well, Leo, I wasn't going to say that because you know why I wasn't going to say that. What? Oh, no, Canito, no. Tanito, my brother in Christ. It's 3 hits. Me hitting you, you hitting the floor, and the ambulance hitting 90. Okay? But yeah, the UK has already said that they want to go to other countries and arrest people for wrongthink. And it ain't going to go well if they even try it.
People talking about that and relating it to various censorship issues were getting these restrictions as well. People outside of the UK were even getting hit with this. It's ridiculous. Discord has had its own rash of age verification issues already. I've seen examples of people saying certain things like, oh, my friend over here is 10 years older than me. The system goes, uh-oh, you sound like you might not be an adult. And then they require that person to hand over their ID to get access to their account, when in reality they might be 30 years old, right? And now people
Yeah,
are
because
getting
this isn't
around
going
the
well.
age verification.
Yeah, because this system works so fucking well that someone on Discord says, my friend is 10 years older than me, and the system goes, oh, you must be underage. Kind of like what YouTube's AI is probably going to do. Because you don't think YouTube's AI, when it comes to its identification, is not going to monitor your comments? That's going to be part of the metrics that the AI for YouTube uses to determine if you're an adult or not. If your comments, indicate that you could be underage, it's going to tag you and say you're underage.
By using Death Stranding photos. Yeah, they're using the photo mode from this game and somehow getting past it, including the authors of this article who tried it out for themselves and were successful in getting past the system. That's how stupid all of this is.
That'll
and
get
also
patched.
Wikipedia is
that'll get patched, and what'll happen? It'll get patched, and what'll happen is, if it keeps happening, they'll just say, okay, forget it. No more taking a photo. You have to present your government ID information. They'll bypass the photo entirely and say you have to present your, or what they'll do is they'll say you have to do both. It's not going to be a choice of either or. I guarantee you, because right now in the UK, as I understand it, for the ID, you can do a photo of your face, and the AI determines if your facial features are over 18 or not. Darren fucking to you.
Discord, wow. A lot of people look like that guy from The Walking Dead.
Well, and this is what I'm talking about. They're going to realize how flawed it is, and so here's what they're going to do. Here's what they're going to do. They are going to start requiring, number one, they're going to patch it out. And they're going to basically say if an image is used more than twice, it's not going to be available by two different people. It's not going to work. But here's what they're going to do. Yes, it's a third party. Bearing in mind, Discord's not doing this themselves. It is a third party that is monitoring Discord. Bear that in mind. But here's what they're going to do. I guarantee this is going to happen within the next couple of weeks. It's no longer going to be, oh, you can just do the facial recognition, the facial ID. It will become, you need to do the facial ID in conjunction with a government ID. They're probably going to fuck off with the credit card thing. It's going to, I guarantee you, it's going to turn into, okay, do your facial ID, now also put in your government ID details, which will then access the government ID database and verify. I can almost guarantee you in a couple weeks, that's going to be how it's going to play out. No longer face alone, it's face plus government ID. I will dare it fucking to you.
At risk of being blocked and hit with this sort of age requirement. They're in a legal battle right now because apparently Wikipedia has something that is so controversial, information that will require an age verification.
Yep. I
not
talked
just
about
users,
this.
But also identity verification for contributors. And of course, censorship of harmful topics. That's what the government wants. It's shameless. It's pathetic. But of course, we're not done yet. People are now reporting that they are being required to show their government ID to Spotify. Yep.
Not only that, it's they're literally blackmailing or extorting, because what Spotify is doing is if they think your Spotify account that you are not of age, that you're not over 18, your account gets fucking deactivated. They kill your Spotify account that you already have, that you may already have paid for. They deactivate it, and the only way for you to reinstitute it is through the ID verification. So they're actually taking away something you already have. This is not like I want to go to a website and, okay, you need the ID. That's already bad enough. You already have a Spotify. You already have it. You've had it for who knows how long. And Spotify is now going, okay, we're now going to take that away from you. And if you want it back, give us your ID. When you've already had the Spotify for who knows how long. And then they're just going to rip it away from you. Say, oh, not nice Spotify account. Shame that something happened to it. But, just give us your personal information and we'll give it back to you. Give the government your personal information and we'll give it back to you.
You can't even listen to certain kinds of music without giving over your government ID to a service like this. It's insane. I mean, how far do you think you're going to push people with this kind of stuff? It's ridiculous. And we're not even getting into the more sinister, ridiculous stuff like the task forces that are being...
No, the fingerment. Anytime someone says it, I'm going to correct it. The fingerment, not task forces, the fingerment. And everybody should be doing that. This needs to be done, okay? Anytime this UK quote-unquote task force is brought up, immediately people should be saying, you mean the fingermen? Because that's what they are. These are the fingermen. That needs to be done.
Created to crack down on what they believe is problematic and dangerous behavior. I mean, you can see this headline. Police unit in England to monitor online signs of anti-migrant disorder. Intelligence team could track social media and flag early signs of civil unrest in response to renewed demonstrations. Yep, we're in the wrong think era. Wrong think, you're going to get arrested. That's pretty much it. Yep, you have an issue with anything going on with that? You might get a knock on your door. That's how bad things have gotten already.
Yes, it
Now,
has.
don't worry, guys. This is just a test run. In my opinion, this is happening across the world, and the United States is not exempt. There is a very similar bill titled Kids Online Safety Act that is basically mirroring everything going on in the UK that they're trying to push. And there's been already a lot of backlash. So what do? They start pushing another one called the Screen Act, which is basically the same thing. They are trying very hard to introduce this stuff to the United States and across the world. And if YouTube starting to make their own age verification process and screening isn't a hint enough, stuff like this should be. They're prepping for what might be a reality in the United States.
Correct, Tatsunashi. Yeah, this is not the first time Congress has tried to do this. I don't know what attempt number we're on right now. Congress has attempted to do this multiple times already. Now, the reason why it never went through in the first place, I couldn't say. I don't know if it was because public outcry, because people contacted the representatives and senators and said, fuck no, we don't want this. And their representative said, my constituents said, no, I don't want this. I don't know why it failed up to this point. But given how this is exploding right now, this is that's why this is cropping up, is because Congress is basically trying to strike while the iron is hot, because two countries have already successfully instituted this law. The U.S. is going, and others are trying to implement it. The U.S. is like, cool, we're going to get in on this action. So it's being so covered in the U.S. right now, they can't pass it without knowing how close it will be. Yeah, Tanashi, I agree. Like, there are going, like, if you thought the riots in relation to ICE were bad in LA, if you thought those riots were bad, can you imagine what's going to happen if this gets even close to passing? Imagine what happens if this gets even close to passing, considering all of the news that has been broadcasting what the UK is doing on multiple fronts. This is being broadcast. America is very much aware of what is happening in the UK right now. If this even gets close to passing, the riots in LA, I suspect, are going to look like a child's birthday party by comparison. And that is why I do have hope that it's going to get shut down pretty quick. Because I imagine there is already a shit ton of backlash. Just at the fact that this got brought up. This only being brought up is already causing a shitstorm. I imagine that that whoever is, I think it was Marsha Blackburn and was it Blumenthal that was also the other half of it. That they're gonna back. I think they're gonna back down very quickly because the closer this gets to actually being heard in Congress, the more uprising there will be. And I think they know if they actually do try and pass this, it will be riots in the streets. And there will be people marching on Washington. So that is the hope that I have for the U.S. in not passing this. I do have. That's why I'm feeling comforted that this won't happen in the U.S. because of that very reason. Because I think Congress knows the second this happens, it's game on, and shit's gonna go down like crazy.
As well, and we've seen the disastrous effects in the UK. And
Oh,
if you're seeing what's going
Vespasian?
on here,
Yes, they
you
will.
should be disgusted and very concerned. Now, I'm going to end this video on a very light note, okay? Don't worry. Yesterday, I announced that my code REV20 is now active, meaning you get 20% off of my latest advanced GG
Add time
drop
at the end for
if you use
something
that code
nice.
at checkout. My new drop includes 2 new flavor jars, as well as the return of Rev's Rocket Pop with a new label featuring new arts, as well as some clothing you can pre-order as well. The code will only be active until August 1st, so 2 days from now. I just want to share this again at the end of the video, and hopefully you guys can take advantage of this. A lot of people took advantage of it over the last 24 hours since I announced it in yesterday's video, and I appreciate that very, very much. But yeah, jump on this while it's still here. I'll put a link to this in the pinned comment. And again, make sure you use code REV20 at checkout to save 20% off.
Hi, Vuka. Thank you so much. And I hope you're enjoying the stream for the time that you're able to hang out with us. Thank you again so much.
We need fun, Ember. Need something to get our minds off of this.
Relax, Silver, relax.
These new items. Thank you guys for enjoying the video today. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. And I'll see you next time.
So, yeah. It's... I wish I didn't have to talk about this. I do. Believe me, guys, I don't enjoy talking about this thing. I talk about it because it needs to be talked about. It's something that needs to be talked about, and I have a means of getting the information out. And I'm going to use that. I'm going to use this means to try and get the information out to as many people as I can.